Hey Zelda fans, it's been a while, I know, but I've had a lot of stuff going on at home, a lot of sickness, and so I haven't been able to record. But here I am, not my face, so Chibi Lou here will have to do. Say hi. So today's first question comes from Neri Use Pearl. I think they're going for Nero or Nair. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They say, I think the Sheikah is a pointless race in the Legend of Zelda world. I would like them more if they were a real race. They only show one real Sheikah in the whole series of the games, and that is Impa. Do you think I'm being too critical? Well, you are incorrect in saying they only show one real Sheikah, because I know every time we see Impa, it's not the same Impa, so technically there are more than just one. But I understand what you're saying, we only really see one at a time. And yeah, that does kind of suck sometimes because there is all this mystery behind the Sheikah race, which the mystery is part of why they're so cool and why they're so popular. But it is getting, a little bit ridiculous, just having one when there really isn't a need to have just one. A good example of this is Skyward Sword, where we have, Impa, and by the time Ocarina of Time's taking place, Impa is saying she's one of the last or the last, and it's kind of like, well, if in Skyward Sword that threat of, extinction isn't present, then why aren't we seeing more of them? It is kind of weird, especially since they are supposed to be, the goddesses, chosen protectors and all. You would think there would be more people trying to protect the reborn goddess. It's kind of a little, it's stupid sometimes, and no, so you're not being too critical there. I completely understand what you're saying, and I can, I feel the same a lot of the time, but I don't think they're pointless. I think the point of having that race is to give the game more mystery, which it accomplishes. Sheikah Stoner says, I see what you did there. Anyway, they say, do you think Aghanim will be in A Link Between Worlds? I don't think Aghanim will be there, and let me tell you why. It's been pretty much confirmed over and over again, even before Hyrule Historia came out, that Aghanim is Ganon's alter ego. There's been a lot of debate as to whether he's a separate villain, and that's why some people think he might be in A Link Between Worlds. And I was actually just having this conversation on Zelda Dungeon, and I pointed out that in Hyrule Historia, the Japanese version pretty much, one translation says that he's an alter ego, the other one says it's an offshoot. But the thing is here, when they're describing who Aghanim is, the kanji they use to describe what he is Bunshin. And here's the symbol and stuff, and pretty much the literal translation of this word means offshoot. And if that's the word they use in Hyrule Historia, but however, if you look up the word offshoot, it's synonymous with alter ego, another self. So there you go, there's your final confirmation that yes, he is an alter ego and not a separate person. People can debate that all they want, but I'm just going to go with what's canonical. So I don't think that Aghanim will be back. However, the strange thing is that, well, the Dark World's coming back, and we already know we got rid of the Dark World and, made it back to the Golden Land and all that good stuff. So if they're going to bring back the Dark World, they really don't have anything stopping them from bringing back Aghanim. Then my next set of questions, I'm going to kind of show them all here because they all kind of have to do the same thing. And it's kind of about, people are wondering, well, what's the best Zelda community to join? And how do I fit into a Zelda community? And are all these people stupid, or what is going on here? I don't know where I fit in, and blah, blah, blah. And it all comes down to Newfags Cant Triforce. And if you don't get that reference, then we just can't be friends. Actually, some of these questions I've had for a while, some are new, and I've had more, but they all kind of involve the same questions. So here, let me break it down for you. When it comes to Zelda fans getting dumber, no, they're not getting dumber. The thing is that Zelda is for everyone, so that's for older people, and that's for younger people, that's for people of all ages, and so there's always going to be new people of all ages joining this fandom, and they're not all going to know what's going on in the Zelda universe. We have over 25 years worth of lore here, and it's constantly been changed over the years, and now we got Hyrule Historia, and now new games are going to come out and update information that's already in Hyrule Historia. There's a lot to learn, and you know, we have English translations and European translations, and you have to compare. There's so many mistranslations and additional stuff that isn't canonical. You have to compare against Japanese versions, and there's so much built up over the years that only really the long-term fans and the very hardcore fans are going to be able to know this. If you're new to this series, it really depends on what you like about the games. Are you into it for the lore? Are you into it for the gameplay? What appeals to you, you know? I mean, if you're really new and you don't know where to start, I'm gonna say just start off with a typical, you know, Facebook or Twitter or Google Plus community, because I mean, those are the newbiest of the newbiest of the new communities, and I can say this because I've been there. I've explored them. I went down into the deep depths. And I mean, they're fun, but they're very newbie. I mean, I try not to go into them too much because I get frustrated because I'm well ahead of the group. I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm so into Zelda that I have crammed my brain full of all the Zelda knowledge that these people who, they just don't know. They just don't know. I mean, you know, you're there for the fun, whatever. Nobody really cares that much. So if you go into those communities, don't assume that they're going to be as, you know, well researched as somebody who is really hardcore into the series. They're not dumb, they're just not as into it as you are, and that's fine. Honestly, I do have to keep reminding myself of this because, say, for instance, I'll go into some of the Google Plus communities because I'm trying to give Google Plus a chance here, and also because I don't like Facebook. But anyway, I try to give these places, you know, a chance to see if I might like them. And I have to leave sometimes because I'm overwhelmed by the lack of any sort of, you know, real Zelda knowledge. And again, that's just because I'm on a different level of fandom than these people are. But then I have to, you know, sit there and facepalm and think, you know what, I'm just being way too into this right now. These people don't know, and I just need to leave them alone because they are not as obviously into it as I am. And that's fine. But yeah, if you're just starting out, try one of these little online social communities because they're fun. You don't have to be crazy into it, but you know, you can get your start there and you can slowly and gradually gain some information. Now, if you're looking to get into a little bit of a heavier type of Zelda community, then that's where forums come into play. And then there are so many forums and websites out there for Zelda, but the biggest ones are going to be ones you've already heard of, I'm sure. There's going to be Zelda Informer, Zelda Dungeon, and Zelda Universe. Those are kind of like the big ones. And I mean, all of them have great Zelda communities, but they're all different. And I don't want to get into the hatred because really, in case you don't know, there is a lot of strife between communities, which in my opinion is stupid because, hey, we're here for the Zelda, or at least I am, so I don't care about any of all that drama. Feed the drama llama, I'm not going to do that. I feel like your choice of community should be based on your interests. For instance, if you are hardcore into Zelda theorizing and really want all the straight facts and knowledge, then your best bet is to go into Zelda Informer. There are so many people in that community who just really know what they're talking about, and they've researched and they've put forth that research in their posts, and they will quote things for you, and they will compare things, and they will compare translations and aged material against newer material and all that stuff, so you can really get a good idea of what's going on in the Zelda universe. But yeah, the thing is with that community is that they are very aggressive. If you are a noob, you do not stand a chance. Even I'm not a noob to Zelda, and I don't go there because I am just a little elu, and they would make me cry. Then you have like Zelda Dungeon, which is pretty much the middle of the road Zelda community. They are, I want to say like they're the average Zelda fan. There are people there who are on the heavier, you know, Zelda fan side. They are really into it and have a great amount of knowledge, but not all of them do, and I wouldn't even say the majority of them do. A majority of them have plenty of Zelda knowledge but aren't hardcore into the unknown facts. If you're there to talk about mostly general Zelda information, upcoming stuff, and preferences about the games. levels and blah 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 blah. And then the last of the big three you have Zelda Universe. And the thing about Zelda Universe is that it's probably the biggest community, so if you have trouble making friends or fitting in, maybe that's part of the reason. If that's the site you go to, I don't know. The good side about Zelda Universe is that it is the most welcoming community from what I can see. I've actually been on an experiment for the past couple months where I've been participating in the different forums and trying to get a feel for them, and sometimes I will act like normal, nice Elu, like I normally am. And sometimes I'll be a little troll to see how they react. And with all of them, it doesn't seem to matter whether you're a troll or whether you're, you know, snotty or whether you're really nice or shy. They don't really seem to care. There really isn't much of a difference. So it's probably just, if you're having trouble fitting in, it's probably just coming down to the quality of your posts, no offense. But again, back to Zelda Universe is that they are the most welcoming community. They have, you know, new member adoptions where people will kind of, you know, take your hand and guide you through the community and help you become a good member and get the hang of things. And that's really nice. Not really any other communities are strong into that. The downside is that while you might come for the Zelda, you will find out that most people came for the Zelda and stayed for the general discussion or, you know, things like technology and social sciences and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, it all comes down into what you think you are as a Zelda fan. So that was really long and drawn out, but that was like trying to answer a whole bunch of questions at once. Brendan K asks, why is there a fourth goddess but not a fourth Triforce piece? The answer to this is very simple, and it just shows me that you have not been studying your Zelda, but that's okay because I will answer your question. In Skyward Sword, we learned that there is like a long time still before any of that took place. There are thousands of years since the world has been made, and they refer to the three golden goddesses as the gods of old who created the world, and so they tasked Hylia with protecting the Triforce and the humans. And as you can see, Hylia is there as a protective deity, a guardian deity. She's there for the humans. And this is, you can see this is very similar to if you look at Jabu Jabu in Ocarina of Time. He is the Zora's guardian deity. So there are, you know, lesser gods and higher gods, and there are all different levels of gods in Zelda, and you can't have a piece for every god out there. It's just, it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be the Triforce. So pretty much Hylia is to the humans, the Hylians, what Jabu Jabu is to the Zoras, what Balu is to the Rito, and, you know, and so on. So there's no reason for there to be a fourth Triforce piece. There has never been a fourth Triforce piece. There will never be, hopefully, a fourth Triforce piece. There is no reason for there to be one. There is one piece for each goddess of creation. Qspat asks, are the Silent Realm and the Sacred Realm the same place? Well, before I say anything, I will point out that there is no canonical link between the two. There is nothing saying that one is the or isn't the other. However, there is, you know, in-game evidence to support theories and blah blah blah. And one of the most popular theories is that they are the same, just, you know, called different things. One of the arguments against the theory is that the Silent Realm can only be accessed by your mind. And then you have the fact that the Triforce resides within that realm, which is kind of like the basis of that theory. So you can research that if you want. I'm not going to go all into it here, but it's a good theory. It's one of the more interesting and fun ones. So check it out. I mean, you can find it on all the forums, like I mentioned before, Zelda Wiki. Definitely research all the in-game texts and all that stuff. Okie dokie, Zelda fans! I am sorry it's been so long, and I don't know if I will be doing a mailbag like this again. I just kind of didn't want to show my face, because right now I look like blah. But yeah, chibi-loo! And if you want, you can watch me go screw around and suck at Resident Evil in, you know, some co-op-y goodness with beer. Check it out! Ah.